Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Echo Aftab. In my previous session, we understood about what is cardinal utility and what is ordinal utility. Today, we'll move ahead and try to understand something about cardinal utility analysis. Myself, Aftab Bhai. So let us start with a brief revision of what is cardinal utility. As we have seen in our last class, Professor Marshall has advocated the cardinal approach to utility, and what it says is, according to cardinal concept of utility, it is possible to measure and compare the utilities of two commodities. So we are able to measure utility, we are able to quantify the satisfaction derived by the consumer in terms of utility, that is in terms of utils, and it is possible only in cardinal utility analysis. We shall move ahead and try to understand certain basic assumptions that comes under cardinal utility analysis. So assumptions of cardinal utility analysis. The first assumption is the cardinal measurability of utility. So as we saw, the entire foundation of cardinal utility analysis is based on the fact that we can measure the utility. So here, when you speak about cardinal measurability of utility, what it is trying to tell us? So here, according to Alfred Marshall, utility is something that we can give the values. We can measure utilities as in terms of numbers. That is what is cardinal measurability of utility. We are able to quantify utility. Utility can be expressed in quantitative cardinal terms. The first basic assumption of cardinal utility analysis, quantifying, or you are able to quantify, matlab you are able to calculate utility, you are able to measure utility. Utility is something which is more abstract, Alfred Marshall has said that you can quantify it, you can measure it, or you can calculate it, you can add it, you can subtract it. This is what is quantitative utility. So according to Marshall, marginal utility is actually measured in terms of money. So how we can calculate utility? So Marshall has made the use of money as a source of calculating utility. So according to him, money is the measuring rod. How do you calculate utility? So we had used the term utils, if you remember from the last video, as we speak about kilogram to calculate the weight, as we speak about centimeter, kilometer to calculate the distance. Similarly, utils is the unit that is used to measure utility, and this is possible according to Alfred Marshall with the help of money. So money has become the measuring rod to calculate utility. So you can say a person derives utility equal to 10 units from the consumption of a unit of good A. So if I say this is the apple, so here if a consumer is consuming this one apple, if the consumer is consuming this one apple, and after consumption of this apple he is getting, let us say, from this one apple he is getting 20 utils of satisfaction. So this is utility is measured in terms of numbers. So and this implies that a person can not only calculate the utility, but also he will be able to know as to what is the differences in the utility of two different commodities, about which we will be seeing in the next particular point. So as of now, the first assumption is cardinal measurability of utility. As I said, cardinalist schools measures utility in imaginary units, which is called as utils. Imaginary units, which is called as utils. So how utility is measured? In terms of utils. The next point is hypothesis of independent utilities. What is this hypothesis? What is this independent utilities? So here I have taken for my reference two fruits. One fruit is our banana, and the other fruit that I have taken is apple. Now we know it very well that when we go on consuming different units of banana, and if we go on consuming different units of apple, what this hypothesis of independent utility says? The hypothesis of independent utility says the utility which a consumer obtains from a good does not depend upon the quantity consumed of other goods. So here what I am trying to tell is, if a consumer has consumed 5 bananas and later on if he is consuming 1 apple, the utility that he is deriving from the consumption of this 1 apple does not depend upon this 5 bananas. So here the consumption of apple is independent of the consumption of bananas. This is what is the utility of apple is independent of the utility of banana. Or else you can say cardinal school regards utility as additive. What is this term additive? That is, separate utilities of different goods can be added to obtain the total sum of the utilities of all goods purchased. So if I say, for our example, if I am consuming 1 banana, from the consumption of 1 banana I am getting 10 units of utility. From the consumption of second banana or 2 bananas I am getting 18 units of satisfaction. From the consumption of 3 bananas I am getting, let us say, 25 units of satisfaction. And on the other hand, when I am consuming 1 apple, from the consumption of 1 apple I am getting 20 units of satisfaction. So altogether, how many items I have consumed? I have consumed altogether 1, 2, 3, 4 units. 3 units of banana and 1 unit of apple. So the total satisfaction that I have got from the consumption of banana is 25, and here it is 20. So 25 plus 20 is 45 units of satisfaction I am getting from 3 bananas and 1 apple, and this is what is additive utilities. So this can be said in other words, that is, utilities of different goods, apple and banana, can be added to obtain total sum of the utilities of all the goods. So here all matlab we are having 2 goods, that is apple and banana. So I hope this point is clear, that utilities are independent. Independent in the sense the utility derived from one commodity is not depending upon the utility from other commodities. They are both independent, and we can add the utilities that we are getting from all the commodities we are consuming. This is the second hypothesis. Going on for the third important hypothesis, very important hypothesis because it plays a very important role whenever we are speaking about utility analysis, and that is constancy of the marginal utility of money. So here we are speaking about marginal utility, but not of goods, but we are speaking about marginal utility of money. The first thing we are speaking about, marginal utility of money. What is this? Daniel Bernoulli first introduced this assumption, but later Marshall adopted this particular assumption of constant marginal utility of money in his book Principles of Economics. What this says, measurement of marginal utility of goods in terms of money is only possible if the marginal utility of money itself is constant. This is the point to be pondered. As I spoke in the previous point, in the first point, that cardinal utility, when we are speaking about cardinal utility, that is, we are able to quantify the satisfaction. So this is possible because money is the measuring rod. When we speak about money is the measuring rod, so here the third assumption says it is possible to calculate the marginal utility of goods in terms of money only if the marginal utility of money itself is constant. Now, how to phrase this thing for you all? To give more understanding about this particular assumption, I would like to take a simple explanation for this, and that is, whenever let us say the price of a particular commodity, let us say price of good X falls. If the price falls, price of X, if it falls, what will happen? If the price of X falls, it means the consumer has certain amount of money left with him which he would have paid at the original price when the price was high. For example, if the price of good X was rupees 20 and he was purchasing 1 unit of it, and now when the price has become rupees 10 and he is still purchasing 1 unit, matlab he is having 10 rupees left with him. This 10 rupees that is left with him, with this 10 rupees he can buy, let us say, good Y. So because of this, what has happened actually, when the price of good X falls, what will happen? The real income will increase, the real income of the consumer rises, and when the real income rises, the marginal utility of money to him will fall. So anything, as we know, if any quantity increases, the marginal utility will decrease. So here, when the quantity of money is increasing, what should happen? The marginal utility of money should fall. But here what Alfred Marshall is telling? Marshall is telling that the marginal utility of money is constant. Actually, what is happening? If price falls, real income increases. If real income increases, the marginal utility of money should fall. But here Alfred Marshall is assuming the marginal utility will not fall, but it will be constant. So this is the assumption. Likewise, when price of a good rises, the real income of the consumer will fall, and because the real income is falling, the marginal utility of money will rise. But Marshall ignored this and assumed that marginal utility of money always remains the same. And Marshall defended this assumption on the ground that consumer expenditure on any one thing is only a part of his whole expenditure. So here this thing I will not focus it right now, we will understand it in the later classes, but for us to understand at this particular point, is that there is an assumption of marginal utility of money is constant. In reality, the marginal utility of money may increase or decrease, which depends upon the price. But Marshall has ignored the role of price and he has assumed constant marginal utility of money. I hope it is clear to you all. The next point and the last point of our today's class is about introspective method. What is introspective method? So let us see first what introspection means. Introspection is looking into our own mind, or in other words you can say introspection is the ability of the observer to reconstruct events which go on in the mind of another person with the help of self-observation. Or else we can say that in simple words, introspective method we attribute to another person what we know of our own mind. Or else you can say economists construct with the help of their own experience the trend of feeling which goes on in other men's mind. Matlab, what does this mean? It means if there is a person A and if he is experiencing that his utility is diminishing when continuously he is consuming a particular commodity. So this person A will feel that what he is feeling with regard to the utility, the same thing will be felt by person B. That is, even person B, if he goes on consuming a particular commodity continuously, even his utility will go on diminishing. This is what it means to reconstruct events which goes on in the mind of another person with the help of self-observation. Here you are trying to observe yourself and what you feel, the same thing you are trying to apply it to other people. So friends, why this method is important is, or this particular assumption is important is because the law of diminishing marginal utility is based upon introspection. We know from our own mind that we have more of a thing, the less utility we derive from an additional unit. So looking into our own self and thinking that the other person or another person is also feeling the same thing is what is introspective method. So cardinal utility analysis has one of the important assumption of introspective method. मुझे जो लग रहा है वही किसी और को लग रहा है with regard to consumption. That is what is introspection. So friends, with this we have come to the end of today's class. So just to have a quick feedback, review of our today's class, the first point that we studied was with regard to measurement of utility. The second point that we understood with regard to the assumptions is that utilities are independent utilities. Then we understood about the third point, and that is the marginal utility of money is constant. And lastly, we understood that introspection or introspective method is used in cardinal utility analysis. So this becomes the strong base for understanding our cardinal utility analysis. So friends, with this I end my today's class. In my next class, as I told you in the earlier class, that I'll start with law of diminishing marginal utility, but I felt that this particular point, assumptions of cardinal utility analysis, is also important. So in my next class we'll continue with law of diminishing marginal utility. So till then, as usual, thanks for watching my videos on understanding economics with Professor Aftab. So till my next class, stay tuned, stay happy, tata, bye bye, see you soon.